Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marisa Kazem, and in today's video, we're going to be mood reading some romances for a week. So basically, I just spent an entire month reading the Throne of Glass series, part 1. I'll link my previous video somewhere up here, but basically I read books Assassin's Blade through Heir of Fire, and I just need a break from it at the moment. I'm loving the series, but I just want like a romance break, and I just want to read something like short and quick and just something cute, so I thought I'd do a week of just reading a few romance books. Let's get started picking our first romance book. So behind me, I have majority of my romance books on this like rainbowish shelf. I do have a few others here and there, but this is like where most of them are. And I think I'm just gonna pick something from here. I really need to get books off of my TBR, so I'm just gonna pick one. Okay, I have made my pick. I think I'm going to read Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I haven't read any of her books, and I know that she's really popular, especially this book, and so I feel like it's time to give it a go. The setting sounds really cute. It's this carpenter guy who is 10 years younger than her, and she's like a doctor. Something happens, and so they cross into each other's lives. It sounds like he's in a small town, so we'll have to see. I'm not a big fan of small town romances, but I just know that everyone loves this author, and I really want to give her a chance. So let's start with Part of Your World. So I'm 60 pages in at the moment, and at first I was thinking it was a little cheesy. Like the first 30 pages seemed very like rom-com-y, kind of awkward, but now that I'm 60 pages in, it's actually kind of cute, and like I'm really excited to see how their relationship plays out and how they are together. I just don't like rom-coms when they're too cheesy and it gets really annoying, so I hope this one turns out good. I just finished page 157 and I am really annoyed at the moment, but it's good. Like the book is good. I'm just like really frustrated at this scene that just happened. Like if you've read this, I feel like you know what I'm talking about when I say I'm angry at people in this book. Not our main characters, but you're definitely like angry at the people in her life. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I think I'm gonna take a break and I will check back in once I've read a bit more. I am on page 298, so it's been a while since I've updated you guys. I don't remember where I was the last time I updated you, but a lot has happened and I'm actually really loving this so far. I'm honestly thinking this might be the first small town romance that I actually really like. Usually with small town romances, they're just so cheesy, but I'm actually liking it in this book. It's not too much or over the top, and I really like the guy in this book. He's so sweet. I have less than 100 pages left, so I'm hoping I can finish this today and then pick our next read. This is making me so sad right now. I was teary-eyed earlier when I was reading this, but it was like happy tears in a way. And right now I'm just so sad. Like I saw this coming. It was very obvious, but like heartbroken right now. Why? I finished it! The first book in this video is done. That was actually really sweet. I don't think I showed before, but these were my tab colors, and this is how they turned out. So cute. I will say this book was mostly predictable. Even when I was halfway through, I kind of guessed what the ending would be, like how their relationship was going to work out, but it was still really cute. The way Abby Jimenez decided to pull everything together wasn't quite what I expected. It was just slightly different, so this was really cute. I definitely want to read more of her books. I'm so excited because this is actually the first small town romance that I actually loved. Like I love this town, I love the people. It was actually really charming and it was really sweet. I think I'm gonna wrap up my thoughts on this at the end of the video because I just want to take some time to, you know, let it sit and come up with a star rating later. But now I can actually pick my next read, which I'm so excited about. Okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna go with The Bodyguard by Catherine Senta. Surprisingly, Part of Your World has really put me in the mood for like a brighter, happier romance story. So basically we have Hannah, who is the bodyguard to Jack, who is a very well-known celebrity, but he doesn't want his family to know about the bodyguard thing. So Hannah and him fake date. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go start this and I'll give an update once I get a little more into it, I think. Okay, so a little update. I am just over halfway through. I got to page 160, but I'm not loving the book at the moment. The thing I'm not liking is that we're halfway through and nothing romantic has actually happened yet. And at the moment, the writing style isn't my favorite either. We're halfway into the book and they've only known each other for like a couple days. So I feel like maybe we could have skipped ahead or at least condensed this part of the book where they barely know each other, because I'm just over halfway through and there's no romance. It's like they're just hanging around. So I don't know. I want to try and finish this today because it's so short. I finished the book. Not what I thought it would be, to be honest. The ending of this book was very wild. It wasn't very romantic. I'm gonna leave majority of my thoughts to the end so that I don't repeat myself, but this really wasn't romantic. Like, it's not romantic summer vibes I was hoping for. It was very much just like two strangers that were interacting for a time being. So I don't know. I want to get on with my next read now. And so for my next read, I actually decided to re-pick up Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I started this back in January and I got around like exactly halfway through, and I thought I would pick it up again for today's video. That way I can just be done with it because I really just want to finish off all of this, and then that way I can at least know how I feel about this story, because I feel like in January I wasn't really in a romance mood. I was just trying to read it. When I left off on January, I was on page 169 and right now I am on page 218. So whatever the math is for that, that's like 30, about like 48 pages. And at the moment I'm still not enjoying it. I know I'm only like 50 pages in since I've restarted reading this, but I'm just really confused by this book at the moment because I saw bad reviews because people said it's exactly like The Love Hypothesis and it's not a different story at all. My issue is that this is nothing like The Love Hypothesis. The Love Hypothesis really just felt so charming and I loved the way that they were interacting with each other. In this one, B is so annoying. If she just like stopped talking, I feel like we would have resolved a lot of issues sooner. I'm really hoping that if I don't end up liking this book, it's just a one-off and that I'll like the rest of Ali Hazelwood's books. I also have Love Theoretically and Checkmate by her. Honestly, for today's video, I feel like I could have just picked up one of these, but there's like a part of me that just really wants to finish this before I go on to the rest of her books. So that's the plan. I have like 130 pages left, so I'm just gonna get to reading and hopefully this will be better. Okay, so update on the book. I am on page 300. I have like 50 pages left, so I'm just going to sit here and finally finish it. But I don't know, I'm just not vibing with this story. It got romantic, it got spicy, some of the spice was good, some of it was not exactly my taste. And it's so weird because The Love Hypothesis was very about like women in STEM and supporting them. And this is too, but this is more like in an annoying way. In The Love Hypothesis, it was very refreshing and she was just, you know, supportive of other women in STEM like her. But in this one, one, it's like she won't stop talking about it. And I'm a STEM major, and I believe we should support women in STEM, but this is just like a whole nother level. I guess it just depends on your preferences. I mean, I'm sure some STEM major people will read this and love it and be like, yes, that's exactly how I feel. And since my last update, there have definitely been some romantic things. Like, I really love the way Levi supports her and stands up for her in front of other people. Like, that's really sweet. But I just don't know. I'm just not feeling this couple. I don't really care about them. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I have 50 pages left, so I'm just gonna finish it tonight and be done with it. I finished the book. That was a very strange ending. It kind of felt like a Scooby-Doo ending, where it's like there's some laughably strange villain, which I just think has no place being in a romance book. I mean, okay, The Love Hypothesis did kind of have the same thing where there was like this bad guy, but you kind of had a bad feeling about that guy for a while. And so when worse things started coming up in The Love Hypothesis, you were like ready for the bad guy. Like, obviously this didn't happen, but it was just kind of like Scooby-Doo, where it's like the mask off and it's like, hey, I'm the bad guy. And I didn't really like that. I thought that was so unnecessary. The last two books in this video were kind of weird and I kind of need to think about them, so I will come back once some time has passed. Out of Your World, I gave 4 stars. I really liked this book. It was very sweet, very wholesome, and I actually really liked the small town. Also, the guy in this book, I think his name was Daniel. Yeah, Daniel. He is such a teddy bear type of man, and I really enjoyed that. I feel like it's not often we read books where the girl's the one with all the conflict, and in this book, it really was her, but like not in an annoying way. I've definitely read books before where the girl's just really annoying and I hate their POV, but this one was fine. I liked her a lot and I love the ending. It was really sweet. So next we have Love on the Brain. This book literally just confuses me so much. I'm gonna go with 3 stars, and I feel like that's really low because I gave The Love Hypothesis 5 stars. I love that book, but this one, I really hated B, our main character. She was so annoying to read from. This is kind of described or set up as an academic rivals, enemies to lovers, and that's not what this book is, but it's what B thinks it is. Like, she thinks that they are academic rivals and that they're enemies, and she says multiple times, I know you hate me, but... And then Levi, the guy, constantly, like many times, says to her, I don't hate you. And yet she's like, sure, sure. And she just like completely ignores everything that he says, and he was fine. And she just made it so annoying. And also, I don't know why, I feel like for the first entire half of this book, like nothing happened. Like there was nothing cute, nothing romantic, and then all of a sudden the romance got brought on. And I don't know, I really liked Olive in The Love Hypothesis, so maybe this is just a style choice. I just didn't like B in this one, but I'm really hoping that the rest of her books are not like this and that they're more like The Love Hypothesis. That way I can just read about characters that I love, because I mean, Levi was fine, but her, no, she was so annoying. And then at the end, there was this really dramatic thing that happened at the end of this book, and it just kind of seemed very out of the blue and not very in tone with the entire story. So 3 stars. It was an okay read, and I guess I enjoyed it as we finally got to the romance part, but this just wasn't that romantic to me, so I don't know. Not my favorite. And so then the last book, The Bodyguard, unfortunately the theme of this video is that the books are getting worse, because I gave this one 2 stars. I expected an entirely different book based on the kind of reviews that I was seeing and how much people love this book, and it just kind of made no sense. Honestly, this book was not romantic at all. There's no romance. And the entire book, I'm pretty sure, takes place in like 1 week. Okay, so towards the end of the book, there is like a bit of time passed and then we get some more events, but like the majority of the book did happen in the span of a few days and there was nothing romantic. They don't fall in love at all. I don't know if there was flirting, like it was just nothing. And I feel really bad saying that because this is like clearly a very rom-com-y book, which I don't mind. Also, the writing style I really did not like. This is just my personal preference, of course. Basically, this book is first POV. You're reading like her thoughts as events are happening, which is fine. And then all of a sudden, she will like talk to you, the reader, and be like, now here's where it gets interesting. And then she'll go back to her inner thoughts, explaining what happens in the story. I don't know how to describe it, but it keeps popping up throughout this book. It's like every chapter or something, she'll just switch and kind of narrate and talk to the reader. And then she'll switch back to being in her own head. And I found that very infuriating to read. I feel like I've heard that when you're watching a movie. The way I would describe it is in Mean Girls. Lindsay Lohan narrates a little bit in the background, and then it goes to the movie and you just watch her in the scenes in the movie, and then you get a little bit of Lindsay Lohan's narration again. And I feel like it works for a movie, but I really don't like it in a book. I've never read that before and it's very strange. That's kind of why I gave this book 2 stars. Like the entire thing just felt weird. But I guess if you really love rom-com movies, you might love that, because I know a lot of people give this book 5 stars, and maybe it's because of that feeling. I feel like that makes me sound so negative, and I'm not trying to be negative. The whole style of this book just wasn't for me. And I'm looking forward to reading her other books because hopefully they won't be this rom-com-y and cringy. But yeah, so this was 2 stars for me, not the best. So yeah, that is all the 3 romances that I read in this video. I really enjoyed having like a week of reading romances. It was a nice break from the Throne of Glass series. Part of Your World was definitely my favorite read of the week, and I'm really excited to pick up her next book in this series. I forgot what it was called, but I'm excited to read that one. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!